Yeah, it's Rock the Broski. Yeah, that's pretty much it and whatnot. I'm going to attempt to talk louder than my fan because it is probably very loud and whatnot because it's right there behind. Anyway, there's much to be discussed and whatnot. I'm making this video because this is about my semester at Rutgers University and just education in conjunction with the global pandemic that we're living in. Now, I want to say this has been spurred by me wanting to really talk about my experience with everything that's going on right now when it comes to school and dealing with Corona and having to work and whatnot. And also because I recently saw a tweet that I really aligned myself with by someone where they said final essays and finals during a pandemonium, these professors won't see heaven. And I was like, this is making a lot of sense. Like, I mean, I get it. It's like it's for comedy, but if I'm being honest and whatnot, it's insane how it's been a whirlwind semester and whatnot. Let me just say my piece. I'll say my piece. So pretty much, I know for me, I had to deal with providing for my family and whatnot, having a couple jobs, making sure I worked and whatnot, also doing my schoolwork, doing music, doing YouTube and everything and whatnot. And I made sure to reach out to my professors at the beginning of the school year to be like, oh hey, I anticipate that sometimes I'm going to be missing some classes, through Zoom. So this little FaceTime thing about classes, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna miss some of them and whatnot, but I'm going to let you know when. I'm just letting you know now. It's like, oh hey, he's not just being on BS. Like, I'm actually missing classes because of being in work and whatnot, and this, that, and the third. And we're in a global pandemic, and a good amount of I think a couple of my teachers were like, oh, you should just a couple of my teachers, two, were like, oh, you should just drop this class. And then one of them was like, you should just consider taking the semester off. And I was like, that's weird. That's weird. But I'm not even trying to hate on that specific professor as a person. It was just a very weird and very uncomfortable response of like that's your answer. Your answer is just to quit and throw everything to the wind, when it's just it's so easy and manageable for you to just be an understanding person. As you're a professor, you have an occupation and whatnot. You know how it is to do work, schoolwork, and have a job. So, and also the whole we're in a global pandemic. And I'm gonna tell you now, guys, there have been so many times in this school year where I get emails about, this semester that I've gotten emails about this assignment, emails about this assignment, about that assignment, and I'm just like, I'm sorry I didn't turn it in yet. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay, in communication with you and all that and whatnot. But there is a lot going on right now with my life and with everyone else's lives and, the whole global pandemic. I want to tie this into the whole global pandemic thing because it's just been disgusting, especially for me at my school, and I can see it for freaking other people and whatnot, how we've been expected to continue the same one workload, if not accelerated, during everything that's going on. There are, over 200,000 people that are dead in America because of coronavirus. And we are all, and every college student is still expected to do the same amount of finals and whatnot, for every class, the same final assignments and whatnot, no open book tests. That might not be everyone's thing and whatnot, but I know for me, my professors were really strict on the whole Zoom attendance thing. And that's Mason Gross at Rutgers University and whatnot. Whereas I had other friends who literally were in crazy science courses and crazy biology this and medical this and public policy that and whatnot, and public health this, and they're telling me, oh yeah, we have those classes where, I don't know, I forget the term, asynchronous or synchronous or whatever, but the term where it's they you don't even have to pull up to a Zoom. It's you just watch the lectures and you email your professor and whatnot, and you stay in communication based on whatever you need and whatnot. You keep it pushing. And I'm I wish my classes were more set up like that, because that seems more manageable in my opinion. Of instead of being held to, if you miss a Zoom 3 times, and let me tell you now, this and whatnot, just I've told my professors several times, there are so many times that there are complications with Zoom. There are so many times where there's just technological complications that you cannot control whatsoever, and getting that little sly remark or whatever of, oh, you missed this class and one of that, this, that, and the third. And I'm just yeah, I missed a class because of literally Zoom. I literally sent you an email that I just could not get in. And aside from that, so many times this semester where I had to be on my tip-top shape of staying in communication with professors in college. But let me tell you the dichotomy. I think that's the right word, the dichotomy. Let me tell you the dichotomy of you being a good student and them being a good professor. Now, students are all expected to stay like at the tip-top shape of communicating with professors and staying on top of emails and making sure that they're making everything easy for their professors to, grade a little essay and keep it pushing. Whereas if a professor does not get back to you in like a reasonable amount of time, or if they're slow with emails and communication, they are perceived and seen as just being busy with everything. But if you are a student that is not super quick with emails or super quick with communication, you're not seen as busy, you're seen as just an irresponsible student, and it's bull. It's not right. Like I have to do more to be considered a good student than a professor does to be a good professor. Professors, especially now during Corona, and in general, especially in my experience at Rutgers, they get to skate around things and make their classroom however they want and do whatever they want. Like, professors really do get to do and act however they want, as long as they're not, I guess, being blatantly and extremely obviously disrespectful or whatever. And then still it's a little thing, because I've had times where I've had professors make me a little uncomfortable, and I've spoken about it and people were just like, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm just like, but if I made that professor uncomfortable, it'd be a thing. Like broskis, do you see what I'm saying? I'm like, pretty much what I'm trying to literally say is that, like, aside from the whole Corona thing, there's this awful and annoying dichotomy of you have to go above and beyond to be a good student and to make everything easy for other students in the class and for your professor, but the professor does not have to do that for you whatsoever. Like, they can do the bare minimum and even below that. So let me get back to the Corona stuff. So we're living in a global pandemic. We are in a global pandemic. So many people have died. I'm literally like Rutgers, like, you guys need to talk to your professors and tell them that, like, look, I'm so, like, I don't know how to fix all the issues and whatnot, but for me, I know for a fact that the syllabus does help. But honestly, and maybe this is just me, maybe this is like too much to ask the professors, I don't know, but like, we get our syllabus so we know all the assignments and whatnot, but we really need to, like, have, I don't know, man, we need to have like rolling due dates, or something where it's like, abolish late work right now for the global pandemic. Just like, no, like everything can be turned in by the final day. I feel like I'm gonna say this, like, okay, everything has a due date. Everything should still have a due date and whatnot during this global pandemic, where there are so many people dying and there are more important things than turning in that one assignment. Yes, I said it, everyone. Oh my gosh, big shocker. College and high school and middle school and school is not the end of the world. It's really not. It's not at all. They tell you different, but they're lying. So what I'm saying is, if this assignment is due on the 6th and the semester ends on the 31st, okay, cool. Then the assignment's due on the 6th, but if you turn it in on the 31st, it's no penalty, is what I'm saying. Like, everything should be penalty free and whatnot, because we're living through a global pandemic. The attendance thing, now that's gonna get me heated and whatnot, because I know for a fact that Mason Gross at Rutgers, for example, I go to the art school, Mason Gross School of the Arts and whatnot at Rutgers. So many people have this crazy three, okay, you get like 3 appropriate absences that the professor deems are okay. You can, like, be out of class these 3 times because, like, it's okay. But it's like, y'all do know that life happens and we're living in a global pandemic, and people are putting themselves out there on the front lines of going to work. What happens if someone gets corona and then dies and whatnot? Are you really gonna check for that assignment then? Like, there are more important things than these assignments, and there are more important things than that Zoom call. That Zoom call is not the end of the world. Professors all across America and the world should be expected to make their classwork, their class load, and the class for that semester able to be done without that Zoom call. Yes, I said it, and people are gonna get crazy about that, but that's it. That's really it. Like, they should be able to make everything easily accessible for the students and whatnot, because of the fact that it is a global pandemic. And you know what? If that cannot be done, then professors and administration and everyone needs to admit that this is a global pandemic, and you need to be extremely more understanding. And the fact that this semester I had to talk to I had to talk to a couple of advisors. I had to talk to a dean. I had issues with professors and whatnot. There was some disrespectful stuff going on and whatnot. In my opinion, there was a lot of gaslighting, like advisors gaslighting me and whatnot. If I'm being honest, there was just a lot of me being like, "Hey, I feel this kind of way," and they'd be like, "No, Rakeem, you just have to do what the professor says and whatnot, no matter what. They can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can act however they want." And me just sitting there like, this is why I want to drop out of school, because you people are making it so hard to want to be here. Like, Mason Gross, please do better. Like, I've met some really cool people in Mason Gross at Rutgers, but my issue with this semester, this was my worst semester, like feeling wise, probably not grade wise honestly, but feeling wise, because of the fact that y'all were just so disrespectful. Y'all were so disrespectful, and you just disrespected the fact that we were living in a global pandemic, and you wanted to make everything all lighthearted and crud and whatnot, and not admit that we're living in a global pandemic. You cannot expect that, like, I'm gonna show up to every single class. There are more important things than a fucking Zoom call. Come on, bro. Like, miss me, bro, miss me with all that, because it's not important. Okay. Anyways. But like I'm saying, there are so many more important things than a Zoom call. It's been I swear, it's like y'all really forgot that we're living in a global pandemic. I'm saying that so much because I need to stop letting people forget that we are living in a global pandemic. We are living in a global pandemic. We are living in a global pandemic. Over 200,000 people have died in America, and what is it, like over 1 million have died worldwide? I don't know, but I know a lot. I don't know how many people have died worldwide, but I know a lot of people have died worldwide. Like, people are dying. This is a global pandemic. This is extremely serious. Like, come on now. So cut all them due dates. Cut all them due dates and whatnot. Make it all so that none of it can be late. Make it all like you can turn it at the end. Turn it in like if you want things to be ready for the presentation date. Okay, cool. But I'm gonna say now, you need to give at least 2 weeks. At least, you need to give, at least a whole 14 days. If you assign something on the 1st, that ish better not be due until the 15th that's, the least. Preferably 3 weeks and whatnot. I better not see that thing for 3 weeks and whatnot. Only because we're living in a global pandemic and there is so much more going on in the world. There's so much going on. People are dying and fighting for their rights and whatnot. As always, black people are getting murdered by police officers and by racists across this country and across so many others and whatnot. Women are fighting for so much. Women are being raped every freaking where, especially on college campuses and whatnot. Colleges are partying. Rutgers. People are literally partying at the Verve building. Please. I'm sorry to snitch, but I mentioned my school, Rutgers, because I want them to do better, because I personally was disrespected by several people this semester, and I'm not holding no grudges and saying, fuck them or whatnot. That's not what I'm saying, because I'm really not like that when it comes to that. I don't think they're awful people, but I'm just saying, so many people were Rutgers. So many people were disrespectful to me and disrespected the fact that we are living in a global pandemic and people are dying, and there are more important things than that Zoom call. So for y'all to sit in emails and condescend me and do all this is just, come on now. People are dying, and you want to sit across your screen and be condescending to me because I'm sitting across my screen asking for help and explaining my situation and trying to say what's up, when I came at everybody this semester from the get-go, respectful and ready to be a good student, but then several people wanted to get disrespectful in emails, and then when I spoke out about that and said that I felt uncomfortable and I felt disrespected, you all wanted to gaslight me. And I'm speaking about it again because it was not okay. And no, if I was fake, I wouldn't be holding nobody to nothing. But since I'm real, I'm gonna speak about it and say straight up, hey, no, how y'all handled this semester was whack. How you talked to me this semester was whack. And I know I'm getting personal and I'm doing my own little thing with me and whatnot. But broskies, I'm making it known because in my experience this semester, I did not have. Obviously I didn't have a good time whatnot. But I'm just saying that my professors overall did make it worse. I'm not saying that each and every single one of them, I only had 4 or 5 or whatever. I'm not saying each and every single one of them were an awful person or did something disrespectful or something awful to me. I'm just saying that there were times when you had the opportunity to be a good and understanding professor and rise above and see that we are living in a global pandemic, and you need to do your best to make it a comfortable environment for your students and not just them make it comfortable for each other. They did not. And they had the obvious choice of doing so. And that's just disrespectful, and I'm frankly disgusted, and I expected better, which is the bare minimum. I expected people to be understanding, the bare minimum. And And I don't want nobody thinking this is no personal attack. This really ain't that. This is just saying that how you acted was wrong. That's really it. And we're living in a global pandemic. Come on now. So like I said, make that late work just, no, abolish all that late work. No more late work. That ish all got to be due like at the end of the semester and whatnot, and it's going to be full freaking credit. And if they don't present it, then, I don't know, make a note of that or whatever. Like, take like maybe 5 points off or whatever, or something like that. I don't even know. Maybe not even do that and whatnot. And this whole Zoom attendance thing, I'm going to tell y'all now, y'all need to get lenient. Extremely lenient. I don't know who I got to talk to, but we need to talk to somebody and whatnot. I know if we were doing in-person classes, it would be a whole, like, oh, it would be the same, like, if we were in person, it would be 3, like, allowed absences. And we're living in a global pandemic, and everything's through FaceTime. Let's work on it. Period. Pearl. I was going to do that. Look, that's my piece about this whole, about pretty much freaking my experience with Rutgers during this pandemonium, this global pandemic. Just, like, you know, college during a pandemic and whatnot. Broskis, drop down in the comments. Tell me everything about your semesters and whatnot, because I really want to, like, know everything. Like, I want to know how your semester's been, because honestly, I don't even know if any of my classmates had a similar semester. I haven't spoken to too many people about this at my friends and, like, briefly, but this, like, was a spur of the moment. Like, I need to make this video and whatnot and speak my truth and say what's up with it. So, broskis, that's pretty much it and whatnot. As always, you can follow me on Instagram. You can everything will be under. You can follow me on Instagram. You can add me on Snapchat. You can add me on Twitter. You can add me on Facebook, I guess. You can send me beats and whatnot. But everything will be down there. You can add me on TikTok. You can listen to my music. I'm Rock on Spotify. You can search up my songs: Pizzazz, Bold, Chickens for McNuggets, Dance Forever, 111, so much. And anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell all your goons and whatnot. And I will see you soon with a new video and whatnot. And make sure Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and all that. And, you know, stay safe. We are living in a global pandemic. Take care of your goons because, you know, people are dying. Do not go party. Don't go out if you don't have to. Get tested. Stay safe. Do all that. And, you know, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being here. And, you know, stay black, y'all. Wakanda forever. And that's pretty much it. All right, broskies. I'll catch you soon. See ya.